This is the video of how to control LEDs using IR sensor and IR receiver. So IR stands for infrared, which is a type of radiation. So you might have seen in the video that I have connected a IR sensor which has a IR emitter and a IR receiver connected on a board which is connected with the Raspberry Pi Pico, which is our microcontroller here. So microcontroller is like a brain of a system, and it's mostly used in IOT projects and robotics projects. And I have connected the IR sensor with the Raspberry Pi Pico with the help of jumper wires and our breadboard. So the basic function of this system is that the IR emitter emits a IR sensor which is invisible to humans at a certain frequency, and the emitted IR wave goes on moving. And if you keep a hand or anything like IR sensors can detect our hand, but they can't detect metals. So if you keep anything like our hand or a wooden stick, anything which can be detected by a IR receiver, then the IR wave will hit your hand and it will reflect back towards the IR emitter and the IR receiver which is just beside it. So the basic setup is, one is the IR emitter which emits the infrared waves, and second is the IR receiver which receives the infrared wave. So what happens when you don't keep any obstacle in the path of the infrared wave? It goes on infinite. But what happens if you keep a hand or a wooden stick or anything on the path of the infrared wave? Then it will hit that hand or that obstacle and it will reflect back towards the board, and it will get received by the IR receiver on the board. So the IR receiver now detects that, oh yeah, I am getting an incoming infrared wave, it's my wave, and it acts as our code. Here you can see in our code that first we have defined LED. Here LED is equals to pin 16 comma pin out, which means our LEDs are connected with pin 16 and its function is pin out, means output. Then you can see another variable IR is equals to pin 0 comma pin in, which means our IR sensor is connected to pin 0 and its work is as pin in, it means input. So our IR sensor is input device which gives input, and LEDs are output device which blinks based on the input given by the IR sensors. Then we have started a while loop, and this is a while true loop, which means the loop should run infinitely. Then we have given a command to print IR.value. So here I want to explain you all a basic concept of IR. So basically in every digital electronics, and in our case IR sensor has only two values, that is either true or false, where true means 1 and false means 0. In our IR sensor, if the emitted infrared wave goes on continuous up to an infinite point and does not come back, then it's denoted as true, which means 1. And but if the emitted infrared wave hits an obstacle and comes back and gets received by the infrared receiver, then the value is false, and false is denoted by 0. So all the computers works on the commands of 0 and 1, and you have understood here that here 0 means false and 1 means true. So let's move on to our code. So here in our code, after printing the IR value, we have given a if condition. Here our if condition is, if IR dot value double is equals to 1, LED dot value 0, else LED dot value 1. So basically we are saying our code that if IR value equals to 1, which means if the emitted ray does not come back and if it goes infinite, then LED dot value 0, which means LED dot value equals to false, and here false means power of the LEDs, and else LED dot value 1, which means LED dot value equals to true, and here true means to power on the LEDs. So I think you all have understood the working of IR sensor, microcontroller, MicroPython, and the code that we have written here. So thank you for watching and subscribe my channel for further more interesting videos based on robotics, ethical hacking, programming, Python, AI, machine learning, and on IoT, and on every interesting topic. So now you have understood about the working of this system, and now let's go on to the uses of it. You can use the systems of IoT everywhere, just you need is to be creative and think. According to me, we can use IR sensors at automatic door opening systems. You might have seen automatic door opening on shopping malls and airports. We can install the IR sensor in front of the door so that if a person comes and stands in front of the door, then the emitted infrared wave will hit that person and come back to the infrared receiver, and the door will open. If the infrared wave goes on infinite, then the door will not open. So this is a basic example of how an infrared system will work. And if you are willing, then you can also do this in your college and school projects and science fairs and in science exhibitions. And if you are worrying about the total cost, then I will say you that according to the current time and current prices, it will cost you only around 400 Indian rupees and 6 US dollars. So do subscribe the channel, share this video with your loving ones, and if you get this video from your friends or family members, then it means that they really care about you and they are caring about you and your future. And also send this video in your school and college groups to share this good information with all. And I want to say you that you are very lucky that you have accessed this amazing wonderful content, and thank you for watching.